Hello and welcome to the International Student Podcast by Prodigy Finance. My name is Cyndi and I am your host today. But more importantly, I am thrilled to invite Swapnendu.
So there's always been this intrinsic desire to at least come over and experience what the culture is like. Sure, I'm not here to tell you that everything's going to be rosy. There'll be lots of challenges along the way, lots of dark nights, lots of moments where you wish that you were back home. First off, I think it's very important for someone to take the jump. It's only natural for you to have the nervous jitters in your stomach.
Hello and welcome to the International Student Podcast by Prodigy Finance. My name is Cyndi and I am your host today. But more importantly, I am thrilled to invite Swapnendu join us. Swapnendu is a Prodigy Finance alumni, a very valuable member of the Prodigy Finance community. He's graduated from Northeastern University and he's here today to share his study abroad journey. Welcome to the show, Swapnendu.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Swapnendu Majumdar. I'm from the city of Kolkata in India. As you mentioned, I graduated from College of Computer Sciences, Northeastern, in December 2023. Joined in spring, Jan 2022. I had 4 years of industry experience with Infosys back home in India. I think my career was I worked through COVID and I could see that it was stagnating a little bit. So I figured this would be a good time. So I tried my options. I think I was trying for fall 21 at first, but then I think since this was fresh out of COVID, there was some nervousness. Just wanted to spend the extra time with my family. Thankfully, Northeastern was gracious enough to allow me to join the spring next year instead. So that worked out fine. But yeah, I'm currently working as a software engineer and a QA automation engineer with Corteva AgriScience, based out of Johnston, Iowa. I think that's all there's to it.
What inspired you to study your master's in the first place?
That's a good question. I've always been interested in the masters, especially in the US. The reasons might not be the most profound. I think I've been growing around the US culture through all of the TV shows, through and all of my music history. It's all been based either back home in India or it's been around the US, right? All of our movies. So there's always been this intrinsic desire to at least come over and experience what the culture is like. And also, I've had relatives who have spoken very highly about the work culture, the education experience here, all of it in the US. But there was always this desire. I just wanted to get some more work ex before I made the jump and just wanted to be more sure, right? Because once you actually make the jump, it's actually it's actually difficult to just come here and be like, no, wait, this is not what I wanted. So yeah, I did some research, everything fit. So grateful for that. It was a good experience. I was lucky enough to find a lot of friends who were also with me on this journey. So it made things easier to go through research, work through your applications together, bounce ideas of each other, things like that. So I think that helped me take the final jump and just make sure we were at the right place, not missing any of the check boxes. I was at a place in my career where it was starting to stagnate a little bit, especially after COVID when almost everything died down, right? So it just felt like the right time where I could just take the plunge, and I'm very happy that I did because everything seems to have worked out fine. Sure, I'm not here to tell you that everything's going to be rosy. There'll be lots of challenges along the way, lots of dark nights, lots of moments where you wished that you were back home. But I kind of knew what I was signing up for, and yeah, I'm really happy that I'm here today.
Talking about challenges, Swapnendu, what were some of the biggest challenges, especially in those initial stages? So moving from India to the US, potentially maybe your first time leaving India and doing an international trip. What were some of the challenges that you've experienced as a student then? And more importantly, how did you overcome those challenges?
Well, there's kind of a culture shock, right? Back home in India, we're used to the noise, the bustle, and the people around. Everyone's hustling all the time. It's a lot more quiet and peaceful here. Initially, I think the first day, especially right out when I stepped foot out of the airport, I landed in spring. It was the winter, so things were especially quiet, and that was a little bit jarring for me. I was surprised. I don't know if I felt a little blue. Sure, I knew I was landing in Boston. It's supposed to be like a good city. But then it felt, why is it so quiet here? Where are the people? It felt a little gray, if that makes sense. But yeah, that was one. Also, I think back home in India, we get help all the time, right? We have First off, we have our parents, our family there. So we don't really need to work for cooking our food, cleaning our room, maybe just our room, but not the entire house, right? And also we have like, I think like we will have house helps from time to time. And so it's usually not that intense. Suddenly, right after landing here, I have a bunch of coursework that I'm juggling, and alongside that, I don't know a lot of things that work here and how they go. I've never worked dishwasher before in my life. So yeah, it's these psychological challenges. With time, you get used to the system here. That being said, I think there was this one time I did particularly struggle. This was fairly recent where my father fell ill back home, and there basically wasn't anything that I could do from here. There was a little bit of an issue with I was transitioning from my student visa to my work visa. And so this was basically a period of when I couldn't be traveling back home. And that was unfortunately very stressful. Thankfully, he's recovered and my family held out and did well to like stay together and help him out. But yeah, at that again, I'm not sure that there's anything that could have been done to, solve that situation any better. But unless, well, I hope it wouldn't have happened. But yeah, just stay together, talk with friends and family, try to just stay as strong as I can, I guess. But yeah, so to answer your question, did I do anything differently? I don't think so. Tried to go with the flow a little bit. Things eventually seem to settle down and just solve themselves as long as you're not making any wrong decisions. Try not to do anything rash. Things here work very differently from how they worked in India. So yeah, try not to get on the wrong side of the law.
I guess all of these experiences build your confidence and your knowledge of the country. I mean, you've been in the US for how long now?
Landed on 2022 Jan. Yeah, I was a
Almost 4
student for
years.
the first 10 years. Yeah.
Okay. And would you say you kind of accustomed to the culture now and the speed limits?
I think so. I recently had a trip back home and suddenly the traffic back home in India looks horrendous. It's scary. I couldn't drive in India. So yeah, I think I'm unused to driving here. It never has been too difficult either. But yeah, I definitely am much more settled in here. The speed limits, all of the rules with respect to driving, everything else in general. I like my cup of coffee in the morning. Back home in India, I was a tea person. Just the smaller quirks now, right? But yeah, I think the US is getting to me now.
I see your post, Swapnendu, and it looks like you're thriving, like you've built a great support system. You've got friends, you've got a community. So it really looks like you're settling in so nicely. On that topic, Swapnendu, talk to us about your job. What's it like after graduating and now working as a software engineer? Talk to us about that experience, landing the job and now working in the US post graduation.
I think I got really lucky with the job in the sense I had a friend who was working in this company. And so I think he referred me for an internship, which went through really well. I worked as an intern here. They extended me an offer. So I didn't really have to do a lot of hustling, fortunately. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. And also everyone here in Corteva has been so nice. I work with some people who are extremely knowledgeable and highly intelligent, extremely well trained for their craft. And I have the privilege of working with them here, learning so much about not just my trade, not just software engineering, but also as an agriculture company about how ag works in the US and across the world. So that's been an extremely enriching experience. And I say this all the time. I've been very fortunate. I try and work as hard as I possibly can to maybe improve myself and maybe maintain the standards. Working in the US is vastly different from working back home in India, where I did have 4 years of experience previously. But yeah, the culture is a little different. I think it's a lot more clean cut here. I mean, you will see people discuss how like the timelines are very weird back home in India, where you don't really have like a clean cut 8 to 4, 9 to 5. Doesn't work that way like here. Here things are a lot much better that way. The work is it's also well defined, if I say, and your expectations, all of it's a lot more clear, it's a lot more transparent, and I like it that way. I think when I say this, it's not just my company, it's also throughout the industry here, which I can appreciate. I speak to my friends all the time who are in different companies across the country. But yeah, there are certain things which I can understand about the culture here, and I'm all here for it. I continue to work with the software in Corteva Agri-Science, and hopefully there's so much more to be learned from the people I work with. I'll continue learning from them.
Talk to us about the financial aspect of your study abroad. How has Prodigy Finance supported you and helped you? And how did you even find out about Prodigy Finance in the first place?
So I was in during my research phase for when I was looking at colleges and everything. I was going through this phase where I was obviously looking at my financials. I had 4 years of work ex, but I also wanted to take a loan because I didn't want to spend all of my savings. And especially I didn't want to put any of my father's savings. I didn't want to put my parents' house into a collateral. So yeah, I was just researching all of my options. Prodigy definitely stood out as like one of the leaders in this space, naturally. I had a couple of discussions with the representatives over the phone. Everyone was like very helpful. So I think there was a time where there were a couple of other options with the Indian banks. Prodigy did offer the cheaper interest rates as well. I think they were the only one who were willing to offer the entire funding for my course without actually looking for collateral, which worked out very well for me. And the other thing about Prodigy Finance was that the entire experience has been very hassle free. I never really had to reach out to anyone for the fees being paid or things like that, which did happen to a couple of friends of mine a couple of times. Yeah, it's kind of shocking how seamless this entire experience has been. My parents have never have to be involved. Like even after I did land in the US, there have been instances where other people have had their friends, family reach out to the banks for like, constant communication, things like that. None of that was required. I think the app was really nice. And I think the app's probably evolved now as well. So it worked out, and I'm really thankful and grateful to Prodigy as well for allowing me to take this journey, because probably it would have been difficult. I probably still would have been able to do it, but it wouldn't have been as seamless and as easy, as hassle free as it probably was for me.
Amazing. And lastly, Swapnendu, in closing, what advice do you have for an international student listening to this episode who may also be from India, maybe also from Kolkata, and they are considering studying in the US? What advice do you have for that listener today?
First off, I think it's very important for someone to take the jump. It's only natural for you to have the nervous jitters in your stomach. They'll honestly always be there. And there's a lot of things that could go wrong. But if you have the right intent, if you have the right mindset, if you have the will to grind away, I think it'll be fine. You'll land on your feet here. Almost everyone does. But yeah, it's important to have that mindset. And if you do decide on coming over, to find that extra precious time that you spend with your family, they're gold dust. So as long as you're still back home in the country, make sure you enjoy all of your time back there. It's nice here. Just feel free to come over. If there's anything else that I personally can help out, please feel free to reach out. But yeah, I think most people who are planning to come over, they'll do their own research. So I don't really need to tell them something specific, but just yeah, take the jump. You won't regret it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for those words of encouragement. I know you're just about to start your day and get ready for work. So thank you so much for taking the time out to share your story with us today, Swapnendu.
Thank you so much for having me. Being able to talk to all of you guys and with Prodigy Finance actually means a lot to me. Thanks again.
In closing, just to our listeners today, if you do have any questions for Swapnendu, he has offered to chat to you. You can find him on LinkedIn. And if you do have any questions about how to fund your international study journey, you can visit www.prodigyfinance.com.